According to the 2011 World Health Organization Global TB Report, Uganda is among the 22 high-burden countries in the world, with about 70,000 new TB cases every year. Half of these patients are HIV positive. In Kampala, the capital city of Uganda, about 10,000 cases are reported every year. Poorly treated cases lead to the development of complicated tuberculosis called multi-drug-resistant TB, which is now on a rise in the country with about 300 cases since 2008. To support already existing structures in the fight to stop tuberculosis in the country, USAID funded an 18-month project called TB Care 1 since January 2012. These are the stories of some of the patients who have been tracked, supported and put back on treatment in health centers closest to them over the last 1 year. Eron Nachiria lives with her husband, co-wife and children. They travel 5 kilometers to go for her treatment daily.
When Nachiria started coughing, I took her to a hospital in Kokonjeru. They tested her sputum and they gave her tablets. The treatment failed. They sent us to Chetume. They also gave her drugs, but she was still not getting any better. After testing her sputum again, they referred us to Mulago. They said that that is where we could find the right drugs. I went to Mulago in October last year, and the doctor told us to come back in February 2013. I took her back on that date, and they gave us help.
They gave me drugs, and I took them for 2 months, plus injections. And then the cough reduced after getting the drugs. However, I developed some diarrhea, nausea, and my feet got swollen. I have to finish my medicine. If you skip taking your tablets, you get worse. When you do not eat and drink, you really get worse. And it's really true. The doctors have really helped me. I did not expect that I would still be alive today. When I don't eat and drink, I feel bad, and my husband gets really upset with me about it and says, "Today, you didn't drink. Today, you didn't drink anything."
Transport is really a challenge. There are days I do not have a single coin in my pocket, and my bicycle is broken. On such days, we fail to go to the hospital for treatment.
Shafiq lives with his grandmother and sometimes his mother. In the past 1 year, there has been a big improvement.
Since Shafiq started getting medicine, there has been a big difference. Previously, he couldn't walk up that hill, but now he's able to take himself to hospital. That is how much he has improved. He's now even eating. He wasn't eating before. I even take a whole day without seeing Shafiq. And then you see him back, he serves himself the porridge and drinks, and then he goes away. He even joined a music band, which are things he could not do before. He coughs, but not as much with pain as he used to. However, now there's a big difference, and everyone who sees him now does not believe that he's still alive. We get medicine, injections, and food for Shafiq. We collect them from Zambia Hospital. We get everything, except I think he needs more porridge. His cup never runs dry. He also tells me that he wants to go back to school, that I should allow him because he can now walk. Since last year he couldn't walk, so he didn't go to school.
Richard takes care of himself. He works in a market in Kampala. He gets his treatment from a Kampala City Council Health Centre in Chisenyi, which receives support from the TB Care One project.
This is how I realized I had TB. I used to get weak all the time. I got weaker and weaker, but I did not know what I was suffering from. They took me to several clinics, and I kept taking more and more drugs. They put me on drips, but I did not get any better. As they realized I wasn't getting better, they put me on a bus to go and live with my mother in the village. My mother took me to a hospital in Kalisizo. They did not have medicine. They took me to another hospital in Chotera. A health worker got me an X-ray. They found the disease, and so they started giving me medicine. After about 5 months, I felt better. And on the 6th month, I went back to Kampala. When I started working, the drugs I came with got finished. I had forgotten my medical card in the village. I had no money to travel back to the village for the card, so I stopped taking the drugs. And since I was feeling better, I thought the disease was gone. But after a while, I got sick again. I was so desperate. The person I was living with told me to go to the City Council Hospital. They tested and found I still had TB. I am still weak. I need help to meet my basic needs, including food and drink.
Nabatanzi Christine is a widow. She lives with her children in Nansana. She appreciates the home visits she receives from her health worker, which have helped her to adhere to her treatment.
I started by having a sharp pain under my breast. I went to hospital. They got me an X-ray. They told me that I had water in my lungs. They said those were signs of TB and they gave me medicine. I restarted taking medicine in December because I had stopped taking it in February. When I stopped taking my medicine, I got so sick.
But at least these days we get some money for airtime, we call them and see how they are. And that's how I found Nabatanzi, because she had defaulted for more than 6 months. So when I called her, she said, the drugs, I reacted to the drugs, I'm not coming back. I said, you come back and we'll see. So when she came, she was in a bad condition. She was taken to Mulago, she was admitted, and they retreated her.
For now, it's really hard to take drugs. If you can help us to get food, that would really help.
Patients diagnosed with TB and especially MDR-TB need urgent isolation and specialized care until the disease has converted, meaning it's not contagious anymore. USAID, through the TB Care 1 project, has boosted Mulago Hospital's TB facilities with the renovation of a 39-bed-sitter ward. Soon, patients will be admitted here to avoid further spreading of the disease.
So actually, as patients come in, this will be their first room. Shall be admitting them in this room, which accommodates 6 patients. So as they come, you're supposed to admit them in this room first. Yeah. So we start them on treatment, and then when they convert, that is after something like 3 to 4 months, we shift them to the next room.
With new systems in place, providing services to TB patients has become more efficient and easier for the health workers.
Kati oli ku myezi emeka kozi? Ku myezi 2 nga giweddeko baddamu ne bakebera ekikolondolwa, kati ne ku myezi 5 ne ku myezi 8 ng'omalayo eddagala awo ne bakusiibula ku ddagala. Baddokita babikola. When the patient comes in, the patient, after recording in the diary book, is also recorded in this diary. And when that patient comes back on that date, we put a tick that he has turned up. In case he has failed to turn up, that patient has missed treatment, missed appointment.
The USAID TB Care 1 project was incorporated to work with the already existing systems and structures, which went very well and fast. However, the health workers still face challenges in their daily work that still need to be addressed fast.
We can also request of the masks, just as that one you come, because sometimes some of them come without masks, and it's like you force him to go and buy hanky, and yet in real he doesn't have cash to bring that hanky to tie himself.
In a day, I can see about 16 patients, because one patient can take you about 20 minutes, talking, counseling, doing what. So 16 is a lot. And you have got other activities like me. I'm working in TB as well as Teenage Center. Teenage Center, there are so many, and you find so many cases of TB there. I pick them and bring them and treat other conditions.
As the USAID TB Care 1 project comes to an end on the 30th of June, the project will hand over to other partners to build on its successes and also capitalize on the lessons learned.
The most important message for a TB patient today is that TB is curable and TB is treatable. But as a patient, one must adhere to the treatment and complete the treatment. As a patient, one must present him or herself for follow-up examinations and take the advice of the health workers.